Hello, this is Air Tactical, and it's an indie game available on Steam for 99 cents, and I wasn't expecting it to be very good. I got it in a bundle with a lot of other games that weren't so good. Happy Santa is one of those games. But I actually found this game to be quite nice. It's not going to surprise anyone. It's a very run-of-the-mill side-scrolling shooter. But its presentation is fine. The music is fine. There's nothing offensively bad about the design, and it's a good entry point into side-scrolling shooters for anyone interested in the genre. We can collect a variety of power-ups from capsules. We can collect extra hits. You can see we currently have 3 hits up there, and we can collect extra, but it won't show those. We can also collect shields, which will change the color of our ship, which does show up, and we can power up our shot like so. But this is the last power up to our shot our ship can get. We can't power up our shot any more than this. Of course, if we die, then we lose our power-ups and we'll have to get them over again. But it's very hard to die in the early levels in this game. For the first 10 levels or so, it's rather easy to stay alive. I find this game to be relaxing and satisfying. The reason I enjoy it isn't so much that it does anything particularly well, but that it doesn't really do anything wrong. I can't think of any major flaws with the game. It's a very simple game, and there are a lot of very simple run-of-the-mill space shooter games available around indie circles. I think what sets this one apart isn't the game mechanics or the game design, but the presentation and the control. The presentation may be standard, but it doesn't look offensive or crude. If you remember on this channel, one time we played Mozok Space Salvager very briefly. And if you look up that game, it's also a very simple space shooter like this one. But the graphics are incredibly crude, and there is some control issues moving the ship around. That's not present in this game. In Air Tactical, the controls are very fine. They feel very smooth. You can move as slightly as you want to. And the music and graphics are pleasant. They're pleasant to look at, pleasant to listen to. It just doesn't do anything wrong. It's not trying to be anything special. And maybe that's a problem by itself, but it also functions just perfectly well. There are around 3 enemy types in the game, which each get stronger as the game progresses. There's the basic ship, which will fire straight ahead at you. There are ships that bob up and down and act more like obstacles. And then there's a third type of ship that will turn around to aim specifically for you instead of just firing forward. The ships that aim specifically for you are the real hazard in the game. I think that's where most of the difficulty comes from. In this first section of levels, in the first 5 levels, the ships that aim for you are tiny astronauts that rotate around using their jetpacks. They can be hard to hit because they are rather small, but in hindsight it's probably better that they're small, because the larger an enemy is, the harder it is to fly around. And if we can't shoot one of these astronaut enemies before they fire at us, we can simply move around them and avoid their shot. They do give us plenty of time to avoid their shot, assuming we're a good distance away, so the fact that they're so small is a big plus. We can also accidentally damage ourselves by running into the scenery, which is standard for the genre. What isn't standard for the genre is how many hits we can take, which I'm very pleased with. It's easy to tank some hits in this game. Not a lot of hits, but up to 6. Even more if you collect extra lives. And that makes it a more relaxing experience. I wouldn't call this game tense or anything. The last 5 levels do get very hectic, but I still found it very hard to feel there was some sort of intensity going on. This isn't Saviors or Birth Order or Castle Shikigami. If you're curious why you can see the window border, that's because I couldn't get rid of it, and I don't know why the window border is that color either. That doesn't seem to be a color you can choose in Windows 7. The game just decides to use that color without any input from me, and I can't seem to record the inside of the window without recording the border. It's very strange. I like the color of the border. I think it's a very soothing color, much like this game is very soothing to me. Maybe that's just why I like it so much, because it's soothing to me personally. I still can't think of anything it does particularly badly, but it's also hard to recommend to anyone, because there are better and more creative shooting games you can get for 99 cents. But can you get a better generic shooter for 99 cents? I'm not sure. I haven't really checked. It's better than Mozok Space Salvager. So, we've seen pretty much all there is to the first 5 levels. We're gonna go ahead and skip to the first boss battle, and after that we'll end the video. The way these corridors work does remind me a lot of other side-scrolling shooters like Airbuster and R-Type. So here's the first boss, and the bosses do have more complex bullet patterns than the normal enemies, but only very slightly. Their bullets do get larger and their patterns do get more complex the further the game goes on, but this isn't a bullet hell shooter by any means. Anyway, if you'd like to purchase Air Tactical, it is 99 cents on Steam. It's on sale for 60 cents as of the publishing of this video, but that could change soon. As you can see, the environment does change after every 5 levels, and there are 15 in total. So that's Air Tactical. I hope you enjoyed this brief look at it.